All right, hello, game design students. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm making another video here. This is the third video in this series about how to use a controller and program it in Construct 3. And so in the past couple videos, we set up our scene, our layout here. We added a few events to be able to control our player character with the controller, as well as use a laser here. And I realize right now I'm not even showing this to you guys. Here it is. Here's my event sheet. Okay, and we created a couple sprites, player sprite, laser sprite. We have a tiled background and a gamepad. So pretty simple right now. Right now you can just kind of steer around and shoot. Now one thing we neglected to do in the other videos is to add some comments, okay? Because as we go adding to this code, it seems pretty simple as we're doing it, but let's say you take a few days of a break or something and you come back to it, it's really easy to forget what everything was. So we need to make sure to add comments. So we're gonna do that right now. Easiest way to do that, you can just right click, hover over add, and you can add a comment. And what I'm gonna say right here for this comment is these event blocks control or let you control the player sprite with the left analog stick. Okay, and there's my comment. Now I'm gonna go down to this one. I'm gonna right click, add, comment. I'm going to say this event block lets you shoot a laser with the left, or no, we did the right shoulder trigger. Okay, so I know this code right now is pretty simple, but what these comments here allow you to do is to remember where you left off. So let's say you come back to it over, you didn't work on it over the weekend or something. You come back and you're like, okay, I want to keep going on my game here. What exactly was all this? Oh yeah, I remember because I have my comments here. Okay, super important. Now, one thing we're going to add here, if we look at our game, pretty simple right now, but we just have this unlimited amount of lasers. We can just shoot lasers for days. So what we want to do is we want to add a little bit of a challenge into this, right? So in your games, you want to create mechanics that are challenging for the player. Otherwise, it's really not that fun. You can't have fun if there's not some sort of a challenge to it, right? You have to work for things. So what we're going to do, we're actually not going to mess with the event sheet. We're going to select our player, and we actually want to go to instance variables over here in the left column. And what instance variables are they're just variables that can track some sort of a value. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a new instance variable. We want it to be a number, and we want to make this variable, I'm going to call it laser charge, right? So we're going to make a limited amount of lasers for our player to shoot. And I'm going to set that initial value to 10. And 10, or 11, here we go, 10. 10 might be kind of low. But for the sake of our program here, it's going to make it a little easier. You can feel free to make it higher or lower. That's totally fine. Description optional. I'm not going to worry about it. I think that's pretty straightforward, right? If you're adding a lot of instance variables in, it's not a bad idea to do some descriptions. But for ours, this is really the only one we're going to use right now. So we're going to click OK. We have this laser charge, and it's number 10. Now let's go to our event sheet. And right here we have, when we press that right shoulder trigger, it spawns a laser. We're going to add a second condition to this. Okay, so I'm going to right click, I'm going to add another condition. And the condition we're actually going to add here is we're going to go to player, and if we scroll down to instance variables, we can compare instance variables. And we're going to say if the laser charge is greater than 0, okay, then we can spawn a laser. So what this is saying is when we pull the trigger, okay, that's one condition, and we have a charge greater than 0, meaning there's charge left over, then we can spawn a laser, right? Then we have to add a second action. What we're going to do is we're going to go to player. We're going to search instance, okay, to pull up these instance variables, and we're actually going to set the value. And what we're going to do is we're going to set our instance variable laser charge to player.laserCharge. So what this is pulling our laser charge right here. Okay, it's saying, what is your laser charge? We're just going to subtract 1 from that every time we shoot. Okay, so player.laserCharge minus 1. So every time we pull the trigger and the charge is greater than 0, it's going to shoot a laser and it's going to subtract 1 from our laser count. So theoretically, what this should do, if we play it here, is I should be able to shoot 10 times, and after 10, it won't work anymore. So let's try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. if everything works correctly, shouldn't do anything when I pull the trigger again. And there it is. We can still steer, we can do all sorts of things, but we are totally out of our laser charge, okay? Now, obviously in our game, we want to create some sort of a reload or a recharge mechanic. We don't want to just run out of lasers and not be able to shoot anymore. So we're going to add that in with another event. So let's click Add Event. I'm going to go to Gamepad. I'm going to go on button pressed. And the button I'm thinking of using is the button X. So on the Xbox controller, that one's right here. And remember, Construct defaults to an Xbox layout. So if you're using a different kind of controller, maybe you need to pull up the Xbox one so you can just know the layout. But I'm going to go button X. That's going to be my reload or my recharge button. And on button X pressed, I want to reset my laser charge. Now, to make it interesting, right, I'm going to actually give it a little bit of time to recharge. So I'm going to go to System, and I'm going to type Wait. I'm going to pick this one right here, Wait. And I'm just going to make it wait for 2 seconds. So you press that button, there's a 2-second delay. Then we can go ahead and add action. We can go to Player. We can search Instance again. And we can set value of our laser charge. And I'm just going to set it right back to 10 every time. So if you shoot 5 lasers and you press the button to recharge, you just set back to 10. Just defaults to our 10 value right there. Okay? And I'm not going to forget here to add a comment. So this event allows you to recharge your laser count or your laser charge to the default value of 10. Right, so now I have a comment here saying what that's going to do. Let's test it out. Okay. Got my controller. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shot all my lasers. Oh, nothing's coming out. Let me steer. Okay, let me press X. Okay, there's my 10. And you watch, I mean, it gives me that full 2 seconds, right? I'm pulling the trigger. There's my 2 seconds. Okay. So you might want to mess with that. Maybe you think 2 seconds is too long. Maybe you think it's too short. But either way, okay, it's working here. So with just a few simple event blocks and instance variables, we have created a way to make your charge on your laser limited, just adding in a little bit of a challenging mechanic for the player that plays this game. That's going to be all for this video. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to create a heads-up display so there's actually a visual aspect to your charge so the player can see when they're getting low, just to kind of help them out. So hope this has been helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.